So your diet's been perfect, you haven't missed a cardio session, and you're hitting your workouts, but for some reason, the scale will not budge. What is going on? In a weight loss journey, as much as we would love for the progress to look like this, it usually most of the time looks like this. And so during my 153-pound weight loss journey in 1 year, going from this to this, I have identified a few types of plateaus, but these are the 3 most common that you need to know about. So for the first type of plateau, it is that your body is adapting to your routine. Is your body adapting to your regimen, to your cardio, to your workout sessions? Because over time, your body will get more efficient at doing what it does, and you might not be burning as many calories doing the same thing now than you were before. So what can happen is that where your body used to burn 500 calories doing one activity, you're only perhaps now burning 300 calories doing the exact same thing. And that's because your body's getting used to your routine. Your cardiovascular health is probably getting better, so you might be having trouble getting your heart rate as high as it used to be doing the exact same thing. Or maybe because you've been doing a lot of weightlifting recently, your muscles have gotten bigger and stronger and have now adapted to the weights that you have been lifting. So what are the solutions to this? Different things you can do are switching out your workout routine, maybe trying a new program out. If you're doing some sort of very basic push-pull leg, maybe try a more hypertrophy-based bodybuilding routine, or maybe a strength training block. When it comes time to look at your cardio, maybe increase it by a little bit. And I do mean a little bit, don't go overboard. Or maybe change up from, if you're using a recumbent bike, go over to a treadmill. If you're using a treadmill, go over to an elliptical or a Stairmaster. Just try different things to try to get that heart rate up again. Sometimes that's all it can take to get the block out of the way. So one thing that I actually had to start doing after a while was, before starting my steady state cardio, I would do a very short, about 30-second to 1 minute HIIT session where I would just move around very quickly and aggressively to get my heart rate up. So by the time I started my steady state, I would already be around 120, 130, and it was easier to maintain there. And now for the second plateau that you should really know about, this one is called the water retention plateau. Water retention is a very common reason why the scale has stopped moving, especially if you increased your workout intensity recently or increased your carb intake. There's a million other reasons why your body could be holding on to water. So as an example, when you're stressed, your cortisol goes up, so does your water retention. If you're overtraining, you can build inflammation. There goes your weight increase. If you're trying a new hot sauce and your body doesn't agree with it, you can gain a couple pounds of water just from having some bloating in your stomach or irritation to your GI tract. And when your body holds onto water, it can really feel like you're not able to burn fat anymore, even though it's just a temporary shift in water weight. But like, seriously, there are so many reasons why your body could be holding onto water. So we're gonna try to speed run through a few of them here. High sodium intake, too much salt, up goes the water. If you're actually dehydrated, your body will hold on to water more because it doesn't know when it's getting the next batch. Any sort of hormonal fluctuation, or for women PMSing, means that you can hold up to 5, 10, even 15 pounds of water that I've seen in some clients before. Some medications like antidepressants, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, steroids, or so many others can cause you to hold water. Even something stupid as standing up for too long can cause your feet and legs to hold more water. The bigger you are, the worse it gets. If it is too hot outside or too humid, this will cause your body to go into the shock zone where it will actually hold as much of its water as humanly possible. Heart failure is a very popular one with holding water, or liver problems where you can actually have an increased amount of fluid in your abdomen. If you're pregnant, not only are your hormones all over the place, but you are literally creating a little life inside of you. So yeah, more weight. And then of course, swelling up from allergic reactions, you have any sort of thyroid issues, or even just overhydrating yourself. This can cause some electrolyte imbalances, and depending on how your body deals with it, you can hold more water. So for solutions to this, we are going to be looking at staying hydrated and managing your stress. Those are going to be big ones. And just giving your body the time to adjust, especially if you've done anything different in your diet, like upping your carbs, potentially trying out some new sauces. I know that I have some that can make me gain a ton of weight just from a crazy amount of inflammation because of my Crohn's disease. And this one might be pretty counterintuitive, and we're going to touch on that later, but if you are doing too much cardio, lowering your cardio can really help because you will be decreasing your amount of bodily inflammation. And my personal favorite way of being able to get accurate readings on a scale every single day is to have a very steady hydration to weigh-in schedule. And what I mean by this is you stop drinking water at a certain time of the night, and then you weigh yourself at the same time every morning. But at the end of the day, if your body's freaking out, sometimes it might just be good to take a single fully complete rest day, and you might drop a few pounds of water that way. But before we keep going, if you are not subbed, if you could please do that, that would be absolutely amazing. We are trying to get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if we win Summer Shredding, I think that might actually be possible. But if you already are and you're still here, leave anything in the comments just so I know that you're still watching. And let's go to the next one. If you won't sub for me, sub for Odie. Look how sad he looks. And for the third main type of plateau, we are going to be talking about hidden calories. Because sometimes it's not your plan that's actually not working, but it's those tiny little hidden calories that are creeping in. You may think that you're still eating in a deficit, but with all of those little sauces and additives, those can add up pretty quickly if you're not careful. As an example, so unfortunately, through the use of oils and sauces and even some peanut butter once in a while, you can go over your target calorie count very easily. As an example, let's start with the sprays. Whereas this one says that you get 4 calories for a half second of spray, this one is 0 calories for a quarter second of spray, which can be very misleading. Because first of all, who the hell only uses a little crazy quarter second of spray? Oh God, there's oil everywhere. You have to keep in mind that there is no such thing really as a 0 calorie food. Everything you put into your mouth will have some sort of caloric content. And as per the FDA's labeling regulations, as long as a food is under 5 calories per serving, the company is allowed to go on the label and write 0 calories. And although not every single company will do this, like the Good Jam here, writing 4 calories, you have to realize that these portions that they'll have written on these are usually very small. Meaning that again, those calories can creep up very quickly. So for a solution to this problem would be to track absolutely everything that goes into your mouth for a few days. And then just make sure that you're actually still in a deficit like you thought you were. So at the end of the day, make sure to always read the labels. And for God's sakes, weigh your food. See, when I go grocery shopping now, the second I see anything on a shelf that looks attractive to me, the first thing I will always do is turn it over, look at the label, see if it makes sense. And most of the time you realize pretty quickly after doing this for a bit that it usually doesn't. To give you an easy example of how easy it is to go overboard with something as, let's say, dense as peanut butter, a tiny portion like this is 90 calories. But if you round out your spoons nicely, after weighing this is 230 calories. And so as a real life example, this is my client Josh. He's lost 110 pounds in 160 days. But for the last 3 weeks, his weight has not budged. And this is what happened. First thing that you asked me, that sort of like set my mind to think, oh, okay, something might be going on. You started asking me about compression clothing. And I didn't really cue in at first, and I was like, okay, like, why does he want compression clothing now? Until you told me that you were developing a rash and that your skin was like getting very irritated.
Where I will have a lot of loose skin, especially on my torso, but it was like very swollen.
But what did I do? What did I tell you not to do?
You told me not to change anything yet.
And the reason for that is because there's so many different factors that can come into play, whether it be inflammation or like some sort of like bacteria running through you that you're just sick and you're holding on water, or maybe your hormones are out of whack for whatever reason, you know. And I didn't change anything for 3 weeks. And it was almost, you know, like those like war movies, like with like the old school war movies, hold the line, you know? And we just waited until, how much weight did you just lose in the last 3 days?
7 or 8 pounds.
Exactly. And so when it comes to plateaus and weight loss and anything of the sort, it's definitely important to address the mindset side of things when it comes to the number on the scale. Because plateaus will happen to absolutely everyone, and it's the way that you deal with them that's very important. And keeping in mind that the scale won't always be the best way to evaluate your progress. Other ways to see are by checking your measurements, or by seeing how your clothes fit, or just evaluating your energy levels. And if you do have some sort of weight loss coach, make sure that they know what they're talking about. Make sure that they have knowledge about obesity. And it's probably even better if they've been there themselves before, because they will either know how to deal with it mentally, or they'll know little things about weight loss that your standard kid with abs that went through high school eating everything and anything he wanted just won't know, like the behaviors of hiding food or any of that fun stuff. So just always remember that weight loss will always be a marathon and not a sprint. Even though I just ran my weight loss like I was trying to speed run a Super Mario game, it's not always effective, it's definitely not sustainable, and if you're looking to make lifelong changes, you should definitely take it day by day instead. So if you have been stuck for a while, it's probably time to switch it up. Try a new exercise regimen, try some new cardio, evaluate the sauces that you're eating and make sure you're not eating too much of them. And if absolutely none of these help you with breaking your plateau, write it down in the comments. I would love to hear about it. And if anybody's looking for some coaching, we now have it available on the website. Link will be in the bio. We've seen some amazing results with some clients so far, and I'm so excited to see what we can do with my ultimate goal of being able to burn 1 million pounds of fat off my clients over the next years. But with that, I hope you have a wonderful day.